The flipped classroom is an idea where you record the basic lecture material in pre-made videos, and the students watch those videos on their own time, and then during the class you do things like interactive exercises where you work sort of back and forth with the student, much more interaction between the professor and the students in the class. And it's called flipped because the idea is they do the lecture as homework and homework in class.
I feel like the MOOCs are a new platform with a new population, a new function of the university, and possibly even a new set of legitimating experiences for both us and the world.
MOOC stands for Massive Open Online Course, and that's when you take a course, maybe originally designed for Stanford, and you make it available to the whole world. I was just interested in shaking up the way I teach. I wanted to try a new way of teaching and see if it was more engaging for the students, more engaging for me.
When I heard about online education, my first reaction was to say, wait a minute, that's so impersonal. You know, the magic for me is the sort of performance of a great lecture and that inspiration that you get from a really great teacher. And what was surprising to me was the fact that I had more of that. I had the ability to engage the students more because I wasn't worried about getting these really difficult physiological concepts across to them in the lecture because they came in with that background.
I was expecting my attendance in my classroom might go down because of, you know, I'm putting all the videos and even the classroom lectures was being recorded, but that did not happen actually. People still kept on showing for the class, so you know they enjoyed that interactive element which was going on in the class.
I feel like I own it more because they're watching exactly what I want them to see. They get to watch it as many times as they need to in order to feel prepared for the face-to-face session.
You don't have to, you know, try to force yourself to be, you know, going at the same speed as everyone else, the speed that professor has set up. You can actually, you know, watch the videos again and again until you actually get it.
It has been very time-consuming to, you know, prepare these videos, especially when you're doing it for the first time. In a normal lecture, you plan for like you know, an hour or a 50-minute long lecture, versus this format where, you know, I'm breaking things down into a 10 or 12 minutes video. So I have to divide things such that each video is self-contained. So it has a beginning, you know, it has a story to it, it has an ending to it, there's a climax, or you know, that it's like, you know, producing a 12-minute short film.
Don't try to take your entire 10-week course and move the entire course online. I would really suggest doing it in chunks. In addition to starting small and only doing 5 weeks at a time, this idea of recording very short segments, 10-minute segments, is a really good idea. It's easier on us because recording 10 minutes and then taking a break is easier than recording a long segment. But more importantly, if you want to update a lecture later on, all you have to do is just update those 10 minutes. You don't have to re-record the whole 50-minute lecture from scratch.
In my course evaluations, I think I got 100 positive comments to 2 negative comments, something like that. So the students really enjoyed it.
I thought the experience was really valuable, and I feel like I learned more from my flipped classroom class than I did from the other classes that I had that quarter.
You know what my philosophy about MOOCs, I think that it's a great way for us to offer some fabulous learning experiences for the world, and we learn a lot. I'll give you an example. In my typical class, I might have 40 students. That means when they do a project, there are 10 teams of 4. So when I give a challenge, we get to see 10 solutions to that problem. Well, if I've got 40,000 students, then we get to see a huge number of solutions.
The most surprising thing about it is the size of your audience and the degree to which it's international, and the kind of student that you're exposed to is one that you would never see typically at Stanford. Many of them come from developing countries, they work full-time, they're not taking it for requirement, they're taking it purely out of sheer intrinsic motivation. And so it's been kind of exciting to be exposed or to experience that population out in the world that I wouldn't see otherwise, and to learn from them or with them on some kind of intellectual journey.
I have never worked harder on teaching in my life. I was spent full time on the class, just getting optimizing all the materials for these tens of thousands of students.
We have an assumption at Stanford and at most universities that students work on their projects and the faculty is there giving them feedback and evaluating them. You can't do that easily in an online class with 40,000 people. What I realized is the students are delighted to get feedback from the other participants in the class. The other thing is, because I couldn't answer all of the questions, there were so many questions that come up on a day-to-day level, the other students in the class answered the questions. And so they really became a community of learners in a really profound way.
The whole experience was amazing. It was convenient. Since I work part-time, this was a way that I could still get involved in 21st century learning and also keep working.
It was really exciting to see how the students out in the world responded to the class. It was very rewarding. They felt like they had been given a gift they couldn't believe, that they were going to take a Stanford course and it wasn't going to cost them a thing, and they had all these online materials.
It was an extraordinary experience, both because Tina Seelig is an incredible instructor, but also because I learned that we had more than 35,000 people around the world participating in this class as a group, with small group sessions in many, many, many languages. It felt incredibly cool.
I've gotten endless numbers of love letters from students saying that this experience was really transformative. Most of them would not ever have the opportunity to take a class at Stanford. And for them, that was really important, to get access to someone who teaches here, to see the types of assignments we give, and to work with students all over the world on these projects.